guys, Ryan the Nerd here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars Black Series Battle Droid. So I don't think I need to explain what the Black Series is, because everybody and their pet rock knows what the Black Series line at this point is. Okay, everybody knows what it is unless you're a caveman and you have no access to the internet and you live feeding on rocks or sticks, whatever hell caveman did back in that time. But I'm going to explain what the Black Series is anyway. Basically, what the Black Series is in a nutshell, is basically a series of figures relating to Star Wars that are really true to the characters, what they're based on, really great paint job, and really great articulation. But that might sound good on the surface, but once you start to dip your toes in the semi-lukewarm water, you start to realize that it's not all that great as it seems. Now, once you actually get the hold of the figure, you're like, yes, it's what I wanted. But it's kind of like Bandai in a way, where basically you get a really nice figure to come along with everything, great paint job and great articulation, but it's really hard to find, and it's really goddamn expensive, and the accessories are basically none. And it seems like Hasbro here is taking notes from Bandai, which you should stop doing that, Hasbro, because goddamn, it is nuts. And also, they're hard to find. Forgot to mention that. Unless you buy it offline, which you also got to pay another extra $100 to throw in the mix for a figure that nobody cares about. So it is really, really tough to find a Black Series figure of a character that you want. I was lucky to find this guy at my local GameStop for about $40 Canadian, so you can translate that to whatever currency you have, and then so on and so forth. But enough talking about Bandai and Hasbro Slack here. I mean, we are going to talk some Hasbro Slack in a second, but take a look at the box here. I really like this nice sticker here. And if you don't know what this is, basically from my research, this is just a Gaming Greats line within the Black Series line. So it's a line within a line, pretty much. And this is just a series of Star Wars characters from video games, mostly from the Star Wars Jedi series. And not to toot my own horn here, but I am a pretty big Star Wars fan. I've watched pretty much every movie, every show, haven't read any of the books, because screw reading books, am I right? Why read when you can just watch? But I've never actually played or even seen any gameplay videos of the Star Wars game. So all I know is from my own knowledge from nothing, pretty much. That's what you're getting here. So if you are thinking that I'm a Star Wars Jedi fan and knows the games, you're dead wrong. All I care about is the figure and the articulation. That's pretty much it. So after this figure and the really cool concept behind this figure, I might actually start, going and doing my own little research on the games and watching gameplays and everything like that to catch up on the lore of the video game series here. And it is by EA, and we all know how EA is with video games, so it might turn out bad, but from what everybody says, it's pretty great. You know how I said I was talking about Hasbro Slack? Yeah, we're talking about Hasbro Slack here. So what's really great about this, I literally said, like, we're talking crap about Hasbro, but I'm like, here's a great thing about Hasbro. Basically what they're doing is the plastic-free packaging. So pretty much, no plastic involved in the packaging. So when I took this guy out of the box, I was a little bit surprised when I saw my battle droid in a body bag. And so I'm great that they're doing that, but for some reason they're using really crappy tape, because usually I was really careful with removing tape. I'm very careful because I like to keep the box, and the Black Series boxes are really nice, and they're really crisp and really smooth and everything like that. So I was really careful when removing the tape. But for some reason, I got like halfway here and it ripped the entire thing off right here. And I was very upset because why? Why? That's just a thing. Why did they do that? Maybe because apparently good tape is non-environment friendly, apparently. Whatever the hell that is. But taking a look at the side here, you got a really nice view of the battle droid here, but you can also see how tall it is in inches and centimeters, if you really care, which I don't. Then you can also have a little read up here on the battle droid here. So if you can pause that if you really want to read that, but I'm not going to read that because I hate reading on camera and I stutter. But anyway, I don't want to spend too long on this box, even though that's been like 5 minutes. But we're going to do the epic gamer throw as we always do here. There you guys go. let's take a look at the battle droid, shall we? So here is the battle droid here. Now, basically, this is a really cool concept of the battle droids in this game here. Even though I'm only speaking from, videos and reviews of this guy in particular, and, the box. Pretty much, after the Clone Wars ended, all the battle droids were basically shut down. They were left for scrapped, pretty much. But that also leaves an opportunity for the rebels, or just a small group of whatever. They can reprogram battle droids to serve them. So I'm guessing the reason why they put a battle droid in this new gaming greats line for the new video game that's coming out, or it came out, I don't even know, and everybody's probably yelling at me in the comments. But I'm pretty sure that they decided to put the battle droid in this line with the new game is because they're probably going to use battle droids. They are probably going to use battle droids as, like, the rebels are going to use battle droids in the battle against the Empire. And that's a really cool concept because we always see, like, in the Bad Batch or Rebels, or Star Wars Rebels or anything like that, all the battle droids are deactivated. They're left for scrap, like I said. So they are just kind of left to rot, but it also leaves an opportunity for multiple people to reprogram them. So that's probably what I'm guessing from this. And speaking of reprogramming, I'm guessing that's why it has a different paint job and everything, to make it not, like, more friendly looking. Even though that battle droids are freakishly tall and they're lanky as hell, and they have those cold, lifeless, dead eyes and that creepy voice, unless we're talking about Clone Wars standards, which the voices are just hilarious as hell. But if a battle droid sounded like Matthew Wood, then I'll be totally okay with that. But other than that, I will just leave them be. But looking at this guy, he is basically just a repainted of the old battle droids, which, you got the classic battle droid tan, you got the classic, well, not the classic, but some more off-color battle droids and everything like that. So it is pretty much identical to the other ones, but for my first Black Series, I didn't really care. I do really like how the battle droids look anyway, and the articulation on this guy is nuts, so that's why I wanted to get this guy. But for, previous Black Series collectors, they probably are going to pass up on this guy, and I probably wouldn't blame them, because repaints and remolds, we're talking like, classic Transformers logic here, where pretty much nobody wants to get repaints and everything like that. I'm just going to put him down because my thing's going to fall, and I don't want that to fall, because we all know how much I hate when my thing falls during the video. But, yeah. But personally for me, I think that this guy looks great with all the different, all the different pins, and you even got some rivets going along here. Very awesome, and I really do like how all the detail really looks. So it is just a scaled down version of the render from the game or the movies or anything like that. So it is just like a in-game model in my hand, which is just fantastic, and I love that. What's really disappointing is the paint job. Now, I did compliment the paint job of the red and the white, complements each other really well, but I wish that they did more dry brushing with this, more like, more silver going along there, like it's been through hell and everything like that. But for some reason, they didn't do it with this guy, but they did it with, the previous versions of the battle droid. So I don't know why they decided to pass up on that opportunity. I mean, you could do it yourself, but why could you do it yourself when they could just do it for you? Am I right? So I don't know why they decided to pass up on that opportunity. Like I said, probably Hasbro's taking notes from Bandai. So it is just kind of a little bit annoying. And what's also annoying is this backpack here. Now, speaking of paint and everything like that, you can't remove it. But we'll get to that. We'll get to the accessories later. For some reason, the backpack looks amazing and everything like that. But for some reason, it looks really plainly cheap. It looks really cheap, and it's something that I don't want to say from a Black Series figure, which Black Series figures are really expensive. So I shouldn't be saying this, but I am right now. So it looks really cheap. But I can't say that it complements each other really well with the battle droid. And I'm not talking color scheme wise. I'm talking about molding wise, which it actually fits really nice and snug on the battle droid. And if I didn't remove it and tell you that it came off as an accessory, you probably didn't even know that it came off. And you can see the little tennis here, which can go down as well. And they are just really thin pieces of plastic. and they don't always like to stand up all the time, and this one right here is a little bit bent, as you can see, so it is a little bit annoying. I wish these things were a little bit tighter and a little bit more less flimsy, but here we are. And another accessory that we come with is a classic Star Wars blaster, as always. Very nice painting and detail, very gunmetal gray, and very nice detail as well. Like I said, with the other paint complaints I have, which it could use a little bit more dry brushing and everything, it could have been a little bit more dry brushing to really bring out those details on the actual gun here. And what's interesting about this, and really cool, is that you can actually plug the gun on the side of the backpack here. So you can, with all the articulation on this guy, you can make him reach for it for some poses and everything. So that's great. I'm just going to take this off. But yeah, it looks really nice. And I was talking about the details earlier, but I felt like, yet again, with the dry brushing, I felt like it could have also made all the details really stand out on this guy with the dry brushing and everything. But yeah, very nice. And also what's really nice, I'm sorry that I'm going all over the place here, but what's really great is when you pull the backpack off of it, you can have him off. You can have the backpack off the battle droid if you want to display him like that. What's really great about this is that you can actually, it's not annoying. You know, when you have a backpack on a figure, usually they have really big, enormous holes that just stand out like a sore thumb. But for this guy here, it actually doesn't look too bad, and it also has details to complement that. So you're mostly going to focus on the details instead of the holes here. So that's really nice that they did that, so it's not too annoying with giant 2 holes on the back. So that's really great. So we're going to talk about the articulation now. Going to the articulation here, the head is also on a ball joint, so very nice as well. Very nice stiff ball joint, not too stiff, mind you. The little bunny ears, I guess that's what you want to call them. They are also on a hinge joint as well, which can complement for the battle droid looking really far up. And once you lift up all of the head here, you can actually see some really more hinge joints and details, everything like that. And you can actually extend the neck here. So he's got a giraffe-looking neck. I don't know why a battle droid would have this, but this makes it more easy to actually, you can actually pose or display him in the pose where he's like shut down and he's in a ball and everything. So that's why this long ass giraffe neck is here. And you can pull it all the way up, and you've got a hinge joint at the base here, which it is really flimsy, but yeah, it is. You can bend the neck with the hinge joint and everything, but it is really tight, and it feels like I'm gonna break it every single time when I do that. So I try not to do it too much, but I would just be aware of certain parts like the neck and these little antenna bits here, but everything else, I feel like you don't have to worry about that. For the arms here, you have a really nice rotation here. And what's really great about this is that instead of using the ball joint, usually they would have a ball joint, that would be the base for the rotation, but actually, you actually get some moving parts here. So the entire base of the arm, but it also rotates, so you can see like the actual thing, so it's more realistic, so that makes it more great for stop motion and everything like that. You got a hinge joint here, which that's all the hinge joint can do. You get a bicep swivel here. You get a elbow bend here, which I feel like it could have been a little bit more, but not too much, because you know you are just going to reach it like that. You also got a another swivel here, mid-arm joint here, swivel. The actual whole hand is on a ball joint, and it's also on a hinge joint like that, so you can also get some really weird, now he's doing like gangster stuff, I don't know, but you also got a ab crunch, so he can it can crunch forward that far, and it can move back that far, and you also do have a ball joint as well, so when you move the entire waist here, you got these little like Mech Alive bits here, which can actually move with it. Try not to move it too much, because I feel like those parts can break easily. But yeah, it's not too tight. It is tight enough that you won't get to do it. So you can also get some crazy wacky stuff with that as well. For the legs here, he can kick that far, and it can move back that far. Can barely move in and out. No thigh swivel, which I don't see why they couldn't just add a thigh swivel with all the articulation on this guy. You can bend the knee really far, by the way. So this is more for the power down mode here. And it actually has a groove for that little kind of thigh there. So, and then you can also the foot is on a hinge joint, and you also got a swivel, ankle swivel, and no pivot. I don't see why not, but that's what we got. That's what we have. But yeah, for my first Black Series figure, I really do like how this guy poses and feels and everything like that. There are some flimsy bits on this guy that I feel like that are a little bit too fragile for my liking. And he is a little bit tricky to stand up, and I did wish that he comes with a stand, even though that I despise stands because they take up so much room on your shelf or whatever. They just take up too much room, but he can't stand, but he just kind of looks weird when he just stands like that without being in a pose. And posing this guy is really nice and everything, but actually getting him in a pose that you like and making him stand is really tricky and basically almost impossible. So I wish that he did come with a stand. And there seems to be actual holes in his feet that will be actually able him to stand. So I don't know why they seem that they couldn't just put a stand there, and I could have just dealt with it. But whatever, it's here we are now. So don't want to be too hasty. And also, before I end the video, I know I'm going off tangent. He can actually hold his gun here. And it's actually, his fingers aren't actually on hinge joints. They're just made out of soft rubber, but not too soft where they're going to break and bend and everything. So once you bend them, they just go right back to their position. And there's no hinge joints on the fingers or anything like that. And the grip of the gun in his hand is really nice, and it's not going to, fall out anytime soon. So that's really great. And it actually grips onto the gun really nice, as it should. But I feel like that's about it that I have to say about this guy. I even know that most collectors are probably not going to grab this guy because he is just a repaint and remold of the previous battle droids that we have gotten. But for my first Black Series figure, I'm really happy with this guy, and I hope that I can find General Grievous because, man, that figure looks nuts, and I really hope that I can grab my hands on him. But I'm probably going to have to go on Amazon or eBay and pay like 2 of my kidneys worth of money to actually get that guy. So who knows at this point, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'm going to save up some money so maybe I can get that guy because he is nuts and I really want him really bad. But anyway, that's going to do it for me, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I don't care what you do, but you guys know what time it is. So, bye, guys.